Writhe is a low rider. Bum, 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 bum. Welcome back to the stream. Down, 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 down. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ramblings of a Mad Guy. It's me, Reese. I'm the Mad Guy, coming at you with another stream. Let's see what I got in store for you. Should be good. Been having some great debates on TikTok. We can always get back into that. Do another one of them. I'm done with Teal Swan videos. We roasted her, and now they're just flooding my For You page. What's the point of that? No, not liked videos. Stream vids. Oh, we actually have nothing in the docket. Well, what do you know? Take a little trip. Let's see. I know we got something good. Welcome, everybody. We're just getting a video queued up, or maybe we should just go straight to TikTok since I don't have any videos queued up, which is on me. That's on me. Is this the panel I was in yesterday? I can't remember. Or like on Friday.
Let's say that you have 1 million people that are pregnant, right? In the 9th month, if you have a very small, like 2 standard deviations from the mean, which is probably 1,000 people, right? That maybe a medical ethicist should weigh in. Like if she is good, if it's my daughter and she's not going to make it through the night, I probably would say yes if I were the medical ethicist.
Okay, I'm asking you, should she have access to an elective lethal abortion all 9 months?
Elective? No.
Okay, so at some point you're taking away her bodily autonomy.
What about the babies?
Whatever she wants with her body.
Well, yeah, you got to protect crazy people
so you
from
have a
themselves. We do it
contradiction.
all the time.
So you have a contradiction in your argument.
We protect people from themselves all the time in this society.
Sir, okay? That would just be a plea of legality. I don't care about
So you
that.
think that if I'm getting ready to jump off a bridge, a police officer shouldn't save me? That's what you're telling me.
I have not given an argument for you to test a hypothetical with, so I don't know what you're doing here except punching air.
All I'm saying is there's crazy people and we need to protect them from themselves.
I would consider you crazy. Okay? Great. Now I need an argument because now you've just contradicted your argument of bodily autonomy because you said she cannot kill it all 9 months.
What I said was within 2 standard deviations in the mean, ma'am.
See how they even use the word kill? Like, they acknowledge that the abortion is murder. They acknowledge it when they're defending it. It's crazy. That's what I was so surprised about in my debate with, I think it was even this panel. It might have been this panel. I don't really remember. They acknowledge that life begins at conception. And then they say, yeah, it begins at conception and it's okay to kill. I mean, what the? Take a little trip. Take a little trip. Debate a leftist. Let's see what this guy's got to say.
I mean, hopefully if I can stay up long enough to touch on all the points, I think. I mean, mine are probably 1 and 2 are probably my strong points.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to ask for 2 then, since you gave me the choice of you having 2 strong points. I want to talk about 2.
Oh, so keeping gender-affirming care for trans kids legal. So, I think that gender-affirming care is a very broad definition. So technically, you having a medical office where you ask kids their pronouns constitutes gender-affirming care. So I think that's the thing. I think people are so quick to say that gender-affirming care is surgery and hormones.
Well, surgery is not part of the standards for minors. I'll tell you, the term gender-affirming care could just be letting your kid pick their hairstyle out, or their clothes. But I've absolutely spoken to people that want to make it illegal for a child that's observed.
Oh yeah,
to wear a dress.
I'm in. Yeah, my program here, I help build our program here. I'm in a major metropolitan area in Pittsburgh, PA. We had one of the state-of-the-art programs here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Children's
For gender
Hospital,
affirming
Pittsburgh.
care?
Correct.
Are you a disagreeer,
And,
Jason?
I'm not. So that's why maybe I'm not
Oh
be up
yeah,
there then.
girl. No, I appreciate that you're an expert in the field, but nobody wants to listen to me talk to people that agree with me. If I am doing the conversation, because I do it regularly, and you put in a request, and I remember I might bring you up to say something pertinent to the medical science. But yeah, I do this conversation ever since the election, because this was weaponized. This healthcare has been weaponized to hurt the whole trans and queer community. It's a false narrative. They want to say that parents are woke and they're doing this to their kids for some sort of a woke flex, and the money hungry doctors and those terrible leftist teachers are pushing it agenda and some bullshit. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And it worked.
Yeah, no parents. Well, it's straight out of the playbook of right-wing authoritarianism. Just look at history. They always need a small, vulnerable population to scapegoat. Go back in all authoritarian regimes, and you'll see that's all. And trans are just it.
No, it was gay men, and now it's trans people. Trump spent over $215 million on anti-trans TV ads. A lot of them about this healthcare.
Yeah, it's what I called it.
To get people hating into voting. Are you gay, Jason?
I am. I called it whenever Obergefell happened. I was like, we're sitting there celebrating. I was like, you guys know trans people are screwed now. Because this is the loss for the Christian right in the United States. Like this right now, this decision we're celebrating, which we should. But I told all of my cis...
I want to talk to you about that, because it wasn't a decision. It was the Supreme Court saying we're not going to reevaluate it. And they do that to like hundreds.
No, I meant back in 2015.
That make it they're like, oh, okay, never mind. I thought you were talking about the recent decision to not listen to that.
If you want to talk about that, I could talk. I wrote a piece on that. Like,
I'll tell you. That's what I thought you were talking about, and I think this is all supposition on my part. I suspect that the Supreme Court, who very much now that it's been stacked with conservative justices, it's never supposed to be a political body. I suspect that they very much are against gay marriage, but they're also able to read the room, and they're like, if we took away this now, it could be a backlash. But I suspect it will come up again, and it will happen.
10 years, it will be overturned. To mark my words, 10 years, it will be overturned.
Well, God forbid. Sure. I hope there's a correction fast. I hope Trump becomes a lame duck, and people are waking the fight. I'm hoping people wake up, and that there's a correction to protect people.
He'll be gone. I think he'll be gone most likely. But they spent 50 years getting Roe overturned.
Mind blowing.
I know. Obergefell will be overturned. This one, just if it wasn't for the Kim Davis factor, if it were anything else, if it was not for the Kim Davis factor, she ruined it. The religious rights.
What's up, Miss Smokey Saint? How you doing? You've been debating. I've seen you've been debating. I've been liking your comments. They are insane. I was just talking about this. What they'll do, at least what they were doing in my debate on the TikTok panel, was that they will. And sorry, I'm requesting to join this guy's TikTok to debate him on the second point: keep gender affirming care for trans kids legal. Which is obviously just as insane as abortion, if not even more so. But what they'll concede is that life begins at conception, and yet it's still okay to take the life of these unique living human beings. So it's like, how do you even argue with that? I think you just win the debate at that point. So it's one of those it's unimaginable, really, how they justify this. They don't really have a justification, as you're seeing in my comment section. And I appreciate you holding the line over there. I've been seeing that. That's awesome. Hope you're well, too. God bless you, Miss Smokey Saint. Fighting the good fight, holding these people accountable for their insane views.
Hey, I followed him just now. I did. Everybody, there's 68 of us here. Excellent.
I'm going to follow Jason as well. Jason is educational. Come on, feed the children education and knowledge.
Bright man, obviously a bright man. Hey,
I'm sorry, Sam. I love coming on your platform, and it's so crazy. I was raised Christian, crazy.
I'm going to say hi to Reese real quick.
Hi.
Reese, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Are you a disagreeer? Because I'm just looking for disagreeers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I disagree with number 2. Although I need to ask some, questions to see what you mean by gender affirming care and all that.
Yeah, I'll just answer it. Specifically, what I'm talking about is the healthcare that's been made illegal. It's early intervention for a dysphoria diagnosis, specifically safe puberty blockers to pause the puberty, and then when the child's around 15, after being affirmed in their identity and in front of a therapist and psychiatrist for years, through HRT, the child has a puberty that aligns with their identity. It's not about surgical intervention. It's about alleviating dysphoria by having the puberty that goes with your identity. Your identity doesn't change.
Okay, and then just one more clarification about definition. So what exactly is gender? Is that distinct from sex, or?
Yeah, well, so what's interesting is gender is definitely related to sex, but they're different concepts. So there's a direct relation, but when you say gender, you're kind of opening a can of words. So like the academic pursuit of gender is just a study of the relationship people have with their sex in different societies. So it's about the sexes related to male and female, but it's about the social aspects of it, because we're social creatures. So it's not like we're males and females running and going into estrus in the wild. We navigate society filled with social construction. So that's the academic field. When you're talking about gender identity, that is a natural developmental stage that people go through. It's when you understand who you are. It happens before you understand biological differences. So that's your gender identity, and that's your relationship to your sex also. So Reese, I'm assuming that you are a male.
Yes.
And you're also a man.
Yes, I am. Wait, sorry, can I ask one more question? I should have asked this first, actually. So I'm streaming to YouTube right now. Do I have your consent to stream this conversation on my channel? If not, I'll just leave.
No, I don't care.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was about to make a TikTok joke about streaming on OnlyFans, but I'm not going to do that. So,
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you want to say, though?
Okay, so I've just had this kind of confusion because.
Can I cut in right quick?
Oh,
I think that
sure.
you should be probably gifting people that are on the panel and the host if you're doing that, because we are up here as well and our voices are being heard and our faces are on here, and that's just my thing. So
Okay,
I mean, put us on another platform, you should be paying us for that. That's just my opinion. Thanks.
Okay, I'm happy to give. I don't have that much like TikTok currency. I'm happy to give a rose though, or something. Actually, wait, I don't have any TikTok.
Don't insult Kiki. No, Reese, it's absolutely fine to engage in a conversation. Okay. And I've posted several old videos. I've saved them all to my phone. So
okay.
I absolutely don't care that people might record me.
Yeah, and I'm not like a huge channel. I won't monetize. I don't get any money from this, essentially.
I got 2 beautiful women on my panel, and I got 1 beautiful old man on your phone, and anything that you give, greatly appreciate it. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so I've had this confusion. People have told me that, to say have puberty blockers, change the normal course of your puberty, or they'll defend surgery, but I know you're not defending surgery. They'll say, oh, well, this is to affirm the gender of the person, in this case, the underage person. But if gender is not a biological feature, I'm just curious why it would actually affirm their gender to do something biological to their body. Does that make sense?
No, so gender is like, I'm going to re-explain. I want you to listen a little better. So your gender identity naturally develops. So a trans woman naturally developed the gender identity of a girl, right? The thing is that's why it's called gender affirming care, because they used to try to abuse the transness out of people. Now they realize, oh, not only can we not change her identity from being that of a woman, there's nothing wrong with a woman succeeding, living happily in society. There's nothing wrong with being trans. So they affirm their gender identity. And so, yeah, it's something. Does that answer your question, Reese?
I'm not exactly sure. Maybe we can get into it a little bit deeper. But so basically, is what you're saying that when people are born, say a female, or okay, let's take the example. Say you're born a male, but you have body dysmorphia and you feel as if you're actually a woman.
Reese, I gotta correct you.
Okay.
It's not body dysmorphia, it's gender dysphoria.
Body
dysmorphia is a totally different diagnosis. It's a different kind of illness, too.
Oh, okay.
And nobody's born an adult either, just to FYI.
No one's born an adult. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to use the language that
woman.
makes sense to you guys. I understand. So, okay, so, but there is a difference between woman and female, right?
Yes, because I have a female cat right here, and she is not a woman.
Okay, God, yeah, I know, and I agree with that. So that makes
Cat's
sense.
a whole woman over here, okay?
Right.
She's not a woman cat. She's not a whole woman cat, but mine's just a little Miss Spooky.
There's also a difference between woman and girl too.
Yeah, that's what she was trying to chime in and say. And people use the language all the time, which is really inaccurate. I was born a man, right? No, you were born a little baby boy. You were born
Right.
You were seen male. They said, congratulations, it's a boy. No one ever told some parents, congratulations, you have a man.
Right. Yeah. So I'm just curious.
That's not true either because you don't know your child's gender until they tell
you. No, they say it's a little boy, but that's just going on based on the fact that most people are cisgender.
Right. Okay, so basically it's what the child says that they are or want to be is what determines what their gender should be affirmed as.
It's not a want. It's not a want. Don't do that.
Well, I wasn't trying to do anything. I'm just trying to clarify.
Yeah, but it's not a want. I'm just letting you know. Like I have to correct you because we don't do misinformation on here. Just to make sure I have to correct you. And that usually between the ages of 3 and 7 is when they recognize their gender.
Between the ages of 3 and 7. Okay.
So Reese, if you wanted, if before a psychiatrist would even see your child for gender dysphoria, the prerequisite is your child has to be insistent, consistent, and persistent for 6 months. For 6 months, they don't drop the fact that I'm not that, I'm not wearing that, don't call me that, why do I feel this way? 6 months, then the psychiatrist will see them.
Okay. And that, again, that has nothing to do with their biology, right? So they're born a little, what people would call a little boy.
The fact that they're incongruent with their biology. So you got a kid that's assigned male at birth, and they're saying, I'm not a boy. I don't want to hang out with them. I'm not that person. So yeah, they're incongruent with their sex, and they're exhibiting distress. So that is what dysphoria is.
Okay, and then already they are a girl because they don't want to be a girl. They already are one. They were just born into a boy's body, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
they actually developed the identity of a girl. So when we talk about trans people and their identities,
no, we're doing it wrong again. Not I don't want to be a girl. It's not that they don't want, or it's not a want.
That's what I said.
Stop doing that. You said that they don't want to be a girl, though. It's not them saying, "Hey, I don't want to be a girl. I recognize I'm a boy." That's just who they are. It's who they know they are.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
There's no. But you said it's not you. Please listen to the words coming out of my mouth. You're saying you said I don't want to be a girl is what they're saying. That's not what they're saying.
No, I'm sorry.
There's no one in it at all.
I think you may have misheard me because I was agreeing with you. Actually, I'm taking your position internally. I was saying they were born biologically as a little boy, but they are a little girl, actually.
You're saying I don't want to, don't.
Anyways, crazy. I think he's coming around. Crazy. I think he's coming around. Yeah, and please stay muted because when more people start interjecting, I forget the script. So Reese.
Yeah.
I heard Reese say that he's trying to. I heard him repeat what I said because I think he's trying to listen. So go ahead.
Yes, I'm trying to listen, and to be fair, I still don't agree, but I'm trying to do this internally and agree with, concede as many points to you as I possibly can to get clear about what this actually is, right? Okay. So if they're born biologically to be a little boy, but in actuality they are a little girl, then why would they need to change anything about their biology to affirm that they are a little girl if they already are one?
Well, they don't. They absolutely don't. Being trans doesn't mean accessing gender-affirming care. Being trans doesn't mean that you have dysphoria. Cisgender people can experience dysphoria. So yeah, some women like to have womanly, feminine features. And some don't really care as much. It's just the human experience. I think you're trying to ask the same bullshit question again when I literally broke it down for you so nicely that if you develop an identity that's incongruent with your sex, there's certain things you can do to alter your sex characteristics, and those alleviate distress. So that's absolutely the answer.
Oh yeah, okay. So then my question is just why would that alleviate distress if they already are the girl that they?
Okay, well let me show you something.
Trying to become.
I want to show you a picture because this is a comparison I think you should be able to understand. So this is not a trans guy. This is a guy that had developed severe gynecomastia.
Okay.
So he had an invasive double mastectomy. Now this happens actually. It's quite more common than trans kids accessing a gender-affirming hormonal intervention for dysphoria. Guys, when they're around 15, like Anthony here, these are Anthony's natural breasts he grew during puberty.
Okay.
Sometimes Anthony learned to embrace it. A lot of times when guys grow breasts during puberty, even though it's benign, it's giving them mental distress. But they're still guys, right? So I guess they should just rock those tits, because we live in a world where it doesn't matter what your bodies look like when you navigate the world. Is that what you're saying? Because I feel like it's such a dumb point, and you're trying to make it again. Why are you saying that guys that develop gynecomastia, they don't need gender-affirming surgeries because they're still guys, and even though they grew tits, doesn't mean they're not guys?
I mean,
They
yeah.
shouldn't be stressed the fuck out. You're saying they shouldn't be stressed out about it? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, it just seems like when you make the point that they should have access to these surgeries or stuff, you're actually limiting what a guy or what a male can be, rather than affirming what a male can be or a female.
Oh, you know what? I hope you have a son that grows breasts and you do that bullshit to him, because you're absolutely full of shit. Right? You're trying to come up here, and I just mopped the floor with your ass. You're like the second or third person today. I just mopped the floor with your ass.
I mean, you can say that, but the point hasn't been answered. You're just saying, you're asserting that you mopped the floor, but
no, you're saying that people accessing healthcare that makes them happier and healthier and better functioning people in society, that's not good because it's just imposing gender stereotypes or something, and you're a liar, Reese.
Well, I'm not lying. Well, you're saying there are gender stereotypes.
It's a bullshit point, and it's a bullshit way to try to invalidate trans people. Just letting you know.
I'm not invalidating trans people. I'm validating that if a man, like if you're a male, then you can be a male in lots of different types of ways, and especially if you're 7 years old, you don't need biological intervention for that.
Anthony loves that his body feminized naturally. He didn't at first. Now he's a gay guy, and men are crazy about his natural attributes. So yeah, that worked out for him. I want to say hi to Auntie Water real quick. Auntie, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Did you want to say something to Reese, please?
Yeah, I'm at work, so I can't really stay too long. But I mean, it just is a fact. No dude wants to walk around with double D breasts. And the idea that you don't understand that someone who is a boy or a girl doesn't want to navigate the world as the opposite just seems like you're just being disingenuous. Like no woman wants to go around in the world being called Jude and Sir all the time. Or live in a world where everyone sees her as a man. And so that's why people who have an internal gender identity that does not align with their sex at birth get gender affirming care and surgeries and wear different clothes. It's not about needing those things in order to be who you are. It's about wanting the world to engage with you as who you are.
Okay. I understand that, but you agree that has nothing to do with affirming their actual gender identity. That's just more for the world or something, at least.
No, you don't understand that. No. No, it's how people affirm their gender is going to be totally subjective, right? The things that you do, Reese, and I'm absolutely certain you do things to affirm your identity as a man on a very regular basis, might not be the things other men are interested in, right?
Sure.
It's just part of a human experience. We're not animals running around naked. We have a society filled with social constructs, and we're forced to navigate it. And some people, it's kind of, I'm kind of sick of talking to you. Is it crazy? Do you want to say something, Auntie? You could say some more. I missed part of what you said, but what I heard was so enlightening. Thank you.
I just think you need some more education on the community, and
that's okay. I'm happy to be educated.
No, but the thing is, we're calling you out for you're intentionally acting ignorant. You're intentionally it's absolute bullshit that you want to say what guys with gynecomastia just need to accept what their bodies are naturally because we need to break down gender stereotypes or something.
Well, I'm just trying to be consistent with your position. That's all.
I think that you're streaming us on another platform, and at this point, you're just like willful ignorance. So,
I mean,
and I'm not getting paid anything for this, and you ignorant. So, and I'm not getting paid anything for
they
this.
disconnected
and you
me.
got me on another platform. So yeah.
They disconnected me.
Let's see what Parks has to say. Parks, how old are you?
So they absolutely could not handle the most simple. They couldn't handle the absolute most simple question about what it actually means to be a gender. And I absolutely wiped the floor with your ass. Oh, come on, motherfucker. I wiped the floor with your ass. When I had no cogent or coherent response to the fact that if gender is separate from biology, then changing your biology does nothing to affirm your gender. In fact, it just reinforces these evil societal stereotypes that they're saying that they're against. So I guess you really can't last. At least the abortion people were willing to like have me on longer, but these people have no sense of like a, fair and well-intentioned debate. That was crazy. I shouldn't be surprised at all. Look at him combing his beard. And I guess he goes by she. So he should have especially understood this point that if gender and biology are separated, then changing your biology does nothing to affirm your gender. Is that so hard to understand? Whatever. I got my little clip out of that. That's fine with me. The transgender debates are a little tough because people, obviously you already have like some kind of mental illness to like be transgender. So you're not exactly interested in like, logic and like free, fair debates, I think. But that's totally fair. Let's see what else.
Level that I make it appear, because
really, guys, hold on.
It is what it
What's
is.
apostasy?
Apostasy.
I think only 4 guys I've ever dated all have been
Hold on, wait.
famous.
This guy Nick Johnson, he does a live where he says, "Come out like where it's straight as the gate. Come out of her, my children." It's just the Tower of Babel with literally every single Christian denomination ever. This hold on.
Let's see, what other debates can we do?
Like,
You hear me?
so if you come to this country legally and you got your passport and everything.
Man, TikTok debates are such like slop. I can't remember if this is the panel I already went on. If I did, I don't really want to, but
it's of disservice to the mother who is gonna have to live with this child for like, let's say, a month or something, or 2, or maybe a few weeks, depending on the situation, and then she's gonna have to develop mental health issues because obviously she'll be like, where's my child? I've lost my child.
Well, I think either way she
like,
has
it is a
been
bad
picked
thing
if she wanted the baby, and it's like 8.5 months long.
Okay, fair, but the fact that she's going to lose the child, right, is going to have serious mental health implications to the mother as well.
Yeah, well, she's gonna lose the child either way.
Yeah, but you're literally saying that like you don't think that 8.5 months they should be able to have.
Well, she can't. It would hurt her physically. It would hurt her to have an abortion at 8.5 months, a lethal one.
So what? Okay, so
what would be what? Wait, hold on. What? Hang on. What would be the? Wait, bruh, calm down. What would be the point of killing the baby? It still has to be delivered no matter what.
Yeah, it's for one, because it is much more safer in the sense that
how she still has to deliver the baby. The baby has to come out, whether it's alive, whether it's not alive. It has to come out. So why do we need to kill it?
Yeah, because it has serious mental health implications. That's why.
Why does that? No, that makes no sense.
It does.
What? Whose mental health? The mother's mental health? So I'm
Yes.
confused. Like, you think that her waiting until 32 weeks to lethally terminate her baby with anencephaly would be therapeutic or something? Like, I
No, what
don't
I'm trying to say is
understand.
that like states that do not have these very harsh abortion laws, if this particular diagnosis was made earlier, like if the doctors were to diagnose that this fetus is going to develop an encephaly at a
What's
very
up,
early
Yeah.
everybody? We're
stage,
trying to find people that will actually
let's say
debate.
even
You just missed. You should rewind the live, and we just got a trans panel to absolutely crash out on me in like 0.3 seconds just for asking the most simple question, which was if gender has nothing to do with your biology, or if gender is somehow separate from your biology, how could it possibly affirm your gender to change your biology? Pretty simple, pretty easy question answer. But they crashed out. They couldn't handle it. You should rewind the tape just a few minutes to see that. It's pretty funny. Now we're trying to get into this panel, which I can't. It's hard to tell if they are pro-choice or pro-life, but we're gonna find out. Certainly, just waiting to be accepted in. If I am, hopefully I am. Okay.
I mean, I don't disagree totally. What I'm just trying to say is that like some of these laws affect those kind of cases. That's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing.
How do they affect these kind of cases? Like I said, I would challenge you to find a state that is more restrictive than Louisiana. Yeah.
So what is the Louisiana law basically? I don't know.
We get very, very few exceptions. Hang on, and I'll read them out to you, because it's a hot mess. The patient will die. Serious organ damage risk, miscarriage, ectopic, and medically futile pregnancy. So anencephaly would fall under that category. Even here.
I mean, sure. Then if that's the case, then I don't have any point of disagreement. Then, like, I just think that it's immoral if there's no justified reason. Like, if there's obviously, like, if there's a justified reason for that abortion to be carried out, I think it should definitely be done. But I don't think that late-term abortions in general, if the child is healthy, if the mother is healthy, I don't think that it should be like a legal thing. I mean, that was different from the other.
Okay, well, why do you think that?
Are you on my side or are you against me? I'm confused now.
It doesn't matter. Just tell me, like, why would that be wrong?
Because I think that, like, consciousness, I value sentience and consciousness, so I don't think that, like, before the point of conscious, like, development, I don't think that they are morally relevant.
Well, then you're pro-choice.
Yeah, I'm pro-choice.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I came here to debate the pro-life guy. That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay, you can have at it.
Oh,
Sky
I'm
has
pro-life.
aura, and she will fuck you up. Oh, you're pro-life. Great. Okay.
Do
you want to give your argument? Go ahead.
Sure, yeah. So I'm pro-life because I believe that it's wrong to schmurder. That comes from my Christian ethical paradigm, but I'm happy to get into it on any level, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer to say on a secular level, if that's okay.
Sure. Okay, so you believe, are all these things, if I'm clear, that are written on the page here, a human fetus is in fact a human, biological life starts at conception, that's what you believe?
Yeah.
Okay, so then if schmurder, the definition is to take the life of an innocent person, which I don't know if you agree with that definition, but if that's the case, then certainly it would be the case that abortion is schmurder.
I mean,
I would consider schmurder to be unjust killing of another person.
Okay, then we agree.
I think abortion is unjust.
Okay, so the fetus is not innocent then.
Oh my God, are you kidding? How is it innocent?
Because it hasn't done anything wrong, illegal, or yeah.
Yeah, does it have that capability?
I
No,
mean,
no,
it's
it
not
doesn't. That's why it's
Okay,
innocent.
great.
it's infringing
Then,
on the rights
okay,
of
well
the
then, look, Bree, can you? I need to.
I don't know if I have mods. Let me look.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I have mod. Oh, I'm sorry. Fuck.
I told you guys, do not freak if I rotate your mods.
Oh,
Don't
no, it's all good, bro.
freak.
So
You're
you said
here.
it's
You're on the
innocent, or
panel.
it is innocent, or whatever?
I'm saying a guilty and innocent is a true dichotomy. So either you're guilty or you are innocent. So if the fetus is not guilty, it is innocent.
Okay. Why?
Well, because if you're not guilty, in other words, if you have not done anything wrong, at least in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. If a fetus cannot do
so
anything.
That's legal. Okay, that's legal positivism. We don't go by what country because I don't live in the United States, so this is just normative because I don't know what your guys' laws are.
Okay. I mean,
So do you just mean in a moralistic sense that it's innocent because
Well,
it hasn't done anything bad?
Yeah, and morally it's innocent. Morally it is a human being with a soul and the right to life. So
Okay. Okay. So is a rock innocent? It hasn't done anything either.
I mean, yeah, but you can't kill a rock. So
The
there's
rock is innocent.
You,
What
but
about
you
a tree? Is
you
a tree
can't.
innocent?
Yeah, but you again.
Can kill a tree.
I,
Is a tree innocent?
I suppose you could kill a tree, but when we talk about the right to life, we talk about human rights. So
Okay, I'm just asking. You said that it's innocent because it hasn't done anything.
yeah, it hasn't done anything wrong. Sure, but it's irrelevant to whether we can cut down a tree or not because it's not a human being.
No. Okay, so you're expanding your criteria now. Originally, you said it just has to be free of wrongdoing.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm happy to.
Criteria?
I'm happy to expand it to a human being that has done, that has not done anything wrong. To murder that is an unjust killing.
And where does it? Okay, what is a right and where does it come from?
It comes from the fact that the imago Dei, the fact that we're created in the image of God, and we have inherent
the host
rights.
asked for you to do something in a secular manner. Do you have anything?
Well, I can't make a moral argument. There is no morality. There is no secular morality.
Okay.
There's
so
no
you
such.
don't have a secular. I thought, didn't you agree to the host? You would do it in a secular fashion.
I said I would try, but in the case of morality, there absolutely is no secular
What do
argument.
you think we would be talking about then for normative debate, other than morality and ethics?
I know we're talking about morality and ethics. I'm saying it doesn't
Then
make
why
sense.
Did you agree? Then why did you lie to the host? And
I
say,
didn't
I will have a secular argument.
lie to
Came
the
up debate
host.
in a normative fashion.
I said I would keep it as. I mean, what I should have said, I suppose, is I will keep it as. I should have said.
So the host did ask you, didn't she?
I
Why
said.
did you lie?
I didn't really lie. I'm just saying it's impossible to have a moral argument from a secular paradigm, because that is your morality subjective?
No.
Oh, it's objective. So what is the foundation of morality?
It's going to be a burden shift. Do you have an argument that is secular?
I suppose. Well, you can't have a moral argument that's secular. So
Okay,
no,
what's the
nobody
argument
does.
for that? What's the argument that you can't?
Happy to, because all secular morality comes down to subjectivity. Therefore, it's not morality; it's just preference.
That's begging the question. Can you substantiate that?
Sure, absolutely. So, for something to be objective, it must be universally true, as in true throughout all time and space. Do you disagree with that?
No.
Okay, great. So, secular ethics, as I understand it, but please clarify for me where you get your secular ethics from, comes from, say, either the cultural or societal or participation with each other.
This is just begging the question. Like, you just...
How is it begging
the
question?
question?
What question am I begging?
That. You're just justifying, you're baking your conclusion into your premises. That's like me saying the earth is flat because I haven't heard anything more or done any research.
Okay, well, would you like to explain to me how you could possibly have a subjective secular ethic?
It's not subjective.
I mean, I'm sorry, an
You can have
objective.
objective.
Yeah, right. That's what I
Are you
meant.
familiar with Aristotelian ethics? He was alive before Christ.
Okay, but he wasn't alive before God, but okay.
Yeah, he worshipped many gods.
Yeah, exactly. So, how exactly is an Aristotelian?
We can have morals based on the nature of reality and the need for human flourishing, which are all objective.
And how do you decide if you should respect human flourishing?
We believe in our own flourishing, that we should do things that enable our own life.
Right, but if you don't believe in that,
then you don't. So that's people don't believe the Earth is round. Doesn't mean they're right.
I agree with that, and I'm saying just because you have a morality based on your own preference doesn't mean you're right.
It's not preference. So people can believe this is objective fact. People can believe the Earth is flat, it doesn't make them right. Just because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people believe something's stupid doesn't mean it's right.
Right, just like pro-choice.
So if we accept that reality is axiomatic, we can accept that we can discover morals such as in the way that we discovered math.
We can discover morals in the same way that we discover math. Okay, but I believe math. I believe math. Oh, sorry. I'm trying not to I don't think I've been interrupting. I don't know why. Anyway, so math, I agree, is also objective and unjustifiable outside of an objective lawgiver.
Wait, how the hell is math objective though? Haven't you heard of imaginary numbers?
Yes.
Like fields of math that are not objective. So what do you mean by that?
Is math discovered or invented?
Math is discovered.
I was asking that guy above me.
Oh.
EVR.
Mm-hmm.
Is math discovered or invented?
I think it's discovered because I think multiple.
Okay, yeah, we all agree. We discovered math. We just invented the little squiggles to record them.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Therefore,
that's good.
Math is universal. Therefore, it's objective.
Yep.
So,
okay.
Same argument for morality. If we discover morality, then it must be objective, but it's also conceptual.
That's what I'm saying.
She's talking about, but you're not getting it though. She's talking about the process of discovery. You're saying that your process of discovery is through some sort of enlightenment or like religious lens. She said that her process of discovery is through empirical data, empirical evidence, through like rationale. Like obviously, it's based on multiple, like it's multifaceted, multipolar analysis of how she's coming through that objective stuff. Like, but you think that the objective realm exists purely in the metaphysical sense of like the God or religious or whatever. That's what I understand basically.
Yeah, it must, because there's no physical referent for morality. I mean, you can't find it under a microscope or anything like that.
Math under a microscope?
No, I agree. Math is also universal and objective, seated in the mind of God, which is a metaphysical concept. So math, again, is metaphysical.
Why does God have to have invented it?
Well, God didn't invent it. It flows from his nature.
That's a presupposition. You need to justify it.
I'm just telling you what my paradigm is. I'm saying your paradigm doesn't make sense because it can't account for objectivity in things like math and morality. If it's secular.
That's a presupposition. You need to provide the argument.
Okay, well, do metaphysical things exist?
Define metaphysical.
Not physical.
Sure.
Okay, so in what way do they exist?
I'm not sure what you mean by what way.
Another way to put that, even though it's imprecise, is where do they exist?
I don't know what you mean where.
Okay.
Wait, if I answer your question, will you be happy? Like,
so, for instance, do they exist?
Do you think that metaphysical concepts exist, like even physically? I do think that they do exist. Like,
if conceptual things exist, where do they exist?
I mean, well, it depends. You could say that they exist through some sort of like you could say that it exists in the sense that it exists objectively, but we don't have a way of like measuring them, right?
So how do you know they exist?
Can you define exist?
We can conceptualize them, right? The abstract.
Right. Abstract is a great word for it. So all these things, conceptual, abstract, they exist in a mind, right?
Well, no, that's not true. Even if all the humans disappeared, there would still be gravity on Earth.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's why there must be a universal mind, because it's conceptual. These things are conceptual. They're abstract. Yeah, of course.
What?
Yeah, because
if all humans existed, would there still be gravity?
Yes.
Then why does that require a universal mind? Couldn't the fucking deer just see it?
What? So what?
If all humans, if there's no need for a mind, a universal mind, if all humans existed, there would still be gravity on the planet Earth. An apple would still fall down and hit the deer on the head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the law of gravity is a metaphysical, conceptual concept.
Okay, so then why do we need God for that?
Because if there are no minds at all, I'll say before deer, for when planets are forming and things like that, you agree those things still exist? Laws of gravity, laws of logic, metaphysical concepts.
In this galaxy or others?
I mean, I was thinking in this galaxy, but I mean in the universe, anywhere. Yeah.
Gravity isn't a concept.
No, the law of gravity is a concept.
The law of gravity is what we use to describe a natural phenomenon.
Okay, but how about the laws of logic? That's a little easier to conceptualize. You agree that the law of identity, for instance, even exists prior to gravity, or at least in the same sort of substrate,
Sure.
metaphysical
Speaking
substrate.
to people's ages. 5. Could I have your age, please?
Yes. So I'm 19.
19, thank you. Alex, could we please have your age?
I'm 21.
Okay, I don't think the host is looking for people that are coming at it from a theological perspective. Is that you, or do you have a secular argument?
I came up because you made a false claim. That's why I came up.
Okay. Well, we'll let you go.
Alex, wait, you don't have to drop Alex. We're friends, sort of.
Okay. I have a question. What do you mean the law of identity came before the law of gravity?
WTF.
I just mean it has ontological priority over the law of gravity, because there could be no law of gravity. There could be no distinct, unique bodies for gravity to affect if the law of identity were not already true.
What is the law of identity?
That a thing equals itself. A equals A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if that does not exist, then nothing exists.
Right. Exactly. And that's purely conceptual as well.
Wait, so what does that have to entail with the topic? I don't understand the word.
Well, someone asked me to prove that God exists. I didn't necessarily want to do that, but they asked me, so this is how you'd go about it.
Well, I thought Tiff said only secular arguments, and you said you had one. That's why you're allowed to stay.
Okay, then
You said, well, look, you asked, and I said, well, I think we would get further if we have a secular argument, because, I mean, I don't really like to judge people's religion, so...
That's okay. Okay, then this will be this is as secular as I can make any moral argument, which again, you can't separate.
Can you define secular for me? Sorry, I'm a little slow.
Not your religious principles.
Okay. Yeah, so purely scientific. I am completely fine with
It doesn't have to be scientific. It doesn't have to be scientific. You can give a normative ethical framework that invoke some sort of god or deity.
You're pulling up some sort of what is this? If this is the definition, then why are you asking?
Well, can I just ask, is Schmurder wrong? I mean, or I would use Abraham.
That's a burden shift. You have an argument without using God or whatever, mysticism.
So are you going to say that that to take the life of a human being is not Schmurder?
I asked you a question. Do you have an argument that is non-religious?
Yes, I think this will be mostly non-religious.
To ask us questions. Do you have an argument that is non-religious?
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
No, not you. I'm sorry. This person next to me. I don't know how to say his name. You just gotta unmute. Do you have an argument that is secular?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Yes, I believe so.
Do you have an argument that's secular to justify the pro-life conclusion?
Yes. So if, as Abraham Lincoln said, about slavery, but I'll use it about this: if Schmurder isn't wrong, then nothing is. To take the life of a human being, a living human being, is Schmurder. Therefore, abortion is wrong.
Saying that abortion is Schmurder.
Can you provide the argument that it is murder, in fact?
Yes, yeah, of course. So it's as you conceded in this graphic here, it is a living human being, and you would be terminating that life. So that's Schmurder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do we have to give things to people that they want or need to survive? Are you like a communist?
What? No, wait, what? How did we get there?
So give things to people that they want or need. Are you like a communist?
I
don't want to be a communist when Bree is around.
So like, why would you want to force people to give things to people that they want or need?
Do we need to force people to give things to people that they want or need?
Yeah.
No.
Give my resources to other people inside or outside the womb.
I would say the case of a baby within a womb is a special case, but yeah, no, I don't think you should. Well, yes, actually, I do think.
To give my resources to other people if I don't want to.
Because you're obligated to give something. We make laws to obligate people to do certain moral things, and one of those things is, for instance, a mother to take care of a child after it's born.
Okay, wait.
So I don't.
Where's Alex?
Yeah. So I'm a libertarian. I don't believe I should have to give things to people they want or need.
So if a mother gives birth to a newborn, she shouldn't have to take care of it, or
That's
even
a burden shift. I've asked you why we have to give things to people they want or need.
because we make laws in this society. I mean, I can argue against libertarianism.
In the reductio absurdum, it's not a communist state. So why do we have to do that? Who's determined that when and where that we have to give shit to people they want or need?
Who determined that we have to give? I'm. That's my ethical paradigm. I mean,
Who determined this? Like, why should I give shit to people they want or need as a libertarian?
as a libertarian, I suppose you don't have to. You shouldn't. I don't know, but I could argue against libertarianism.
Can you justify why should I have to give things to people they want or need? What principle?
Morality, I'd say.
Yeah, basic general human morality.
What moral principle are you operating under? Communism?
No, not Why does it have to be communism or nothing? I'm operating under the Christian paradigm, but you told me not to do that.
What is the moral principle that I have to give shit to people they want or need? What is it called?
To love thy neighbor as thyself.
What's that moral principle called? He's gonna unmute.
It's called to love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's called communism.
No, it's not.
Okay, so we have to give shit to people because we're supposed to love them. I don't love strangers. That's fucked.
That's fair. If you support abortion because you don't love other people, then I understand. I'm just
you love me. We've never met before. That's kind of creepy, bro.
Well, I do love you, but it's
I have
different.
a husband. Like, relax.
I don't love you romantically. I don't know you at all.
Yeah, like you can't. Like, what do you love about me then?
I will the good of the other. I have agapic love for you.
What do you love about me? What do you
That
love
you're a human being made in the image of God.
Okay. Human DNA.
Okay,
Yeah.
what if what if these aliens? Okay, what if these aliens came down and they crashed into Earth in their spaceship?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, please don't kill me. Would you kill them? Because they're not humans. They're like Martians.
Probably not, basically, but I don't know.
You liked humans.
I do love humans. Does that mean I can't love aliens as
Why
well?
wouldn't you kill the Martian people who are like, please don't kill me?
Well, I love my cat. I don't kill my cat.
Okay. Are you like a vegan or something then?
No, I'm not a vegan.
Then why wouldn't you kill these if you killed cows?
Why wouldn't I kill my own cat if I kill cows?
No, why wouldn't you kill these Martians? You don't have a bond with them. You don't know who they are. Why wouldn't you kill and eat them?
I don't know. Is this your argument? Is this why abortion is right?
I haven't presented a positive claim. I've just asked you about yours. So
Okay.
why would you not kill
Happy
and
to
eat the
keep-
Martians? You don't know them.
I'm not saying if I would or wouldn't. I don't know what I would do if Martians
You might
came
kill
down.
the Martians when they're like, please don't kill me.
Probably not if they were speaking English. They're like logical beings. I would at least pray about it, ask my priest. Like, but why would I? Why would I resort to?
These people that are just green? They don't have human DNA, but they look like us, and I might eat them, priest. Is that like okay?
How is this? I mean, no, I don't know.
It's called a reductio absurdum. It's testing the principle that you only love humans.
I didn't say I only love humans.
Okay, so why do you eat other animals then?
How is that different? How can I can love certain animals? I just told you.
Why wouldn't you eat the Martians then?
I just told you that I don't only love humans, and then you said, "Why do you eat other animals?" I didn't say I love every single. I love every single thing that is not a human.
How do you determine which animals you do and don't eat?
Based on biblical law.
But there's no Martians mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah, that's why it's a strange hypothetical that I have to think about that you're trying to get a gotcha on, but it has nothing to do with the fact of abortion.
Because your principle was human and alive. The Martians are not human and alive now, aren't they?
So what does that have to do with human abortion then? I don't understand.
Your principle was I only value things that are human and alive.
No. I said I value life because it is made in the image of God. That has nothing to do
are the Martians made in the image of God?
I don't know. That's why it's a useless hypothetical. It has nothing to do with the argument.
It's not useless because your issue is your thing you said is I like things that are made in the image of God.
Yes.
So would you eat the Martians?
And my answer is I don't know because I don't know if they're made in the image of God. How is that yes or no? Why am I forced to give a yes or no to that question? I don't know because I don't know if they're made in the image of God.
To say if you'd eat the Martians, yes or no?
I said a valid answer to that question is I don't know because I don't know if they are made in the image of God or not. I would need church fathers. I would need teaching on that, which I don't have. Okay. And it has nothing to do with whether a human life.
It does have a lot to do because your underlying assumption is only you love people because they're made in the image of God.
Yes.
But you don't know if you would eat the Martians or not.
Are they people? Are they people?
How do you define a person?
Let's see. Probably human. Yeah, a unique individual human, I guess. I
No,
don't
they're
know.
not human.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're persons or not.
So a person is just like a human.
Look, yeah, maybe. I don't really know
So I
exactly.
guess the Martians aren't people now, are they?
Maybe they're not. Maybe they
We've
are.
concluded you don't just value humans, and you might eat the Martians.
And so how does this apply to the argument that...
Because your principle was, I only value humans and people.
No, I never said
So
I
guess
only
your
value...
principle has been tested,
No.
hasn't it?
I said I value all humans. Fetuses are humans, therefore we shouldn't abort them. What does this have to do with Martians? I don't
What if the
understand.
Martian is pregnant?
Again, irrelevant to whether I value human life or not.
Okay, yeah, the thing is you said, I value humans because they're made in the light image of God.
Yes.
Are Martians?
I don't know. They could be. They could not be.
Okay, that's why we're testing your principle of human and alive.
Are you asking me if the Martians are human? I'm gonna say no, probably, unless they're like
Okay,
ancient
then I
humans
guess you
that
don't
came from
value.
Mars.
Okay, I guess it's not just humans you value then, is
That's
it?
right. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. It's not just humans that I value, but I do value humans, which is why I'm against abortion.
Okay. So it's not just humans that you value.
Right.
Why do you like humans?
Because they're made in the image of God, I'm commanded to love my neighbor as myself.
Okay, do you have anything that's not religious like the host said? Yeah.
You're asking moral questions. You're asking moral questions which are fundamental.
You don't think we would talk about morals in a normative debate? What the fuck else did you think we'd talk about?
You're just talking
The
about
sky is
preferences. If you're not talking about them in a religious framework or an objective framework, it's just
that's
preferences.
an assumption and a presupposition.
Assuming the non-existence of God, would you still think abortion is wrong?
No, if God didn't exist, nothing would be wrong.
Okay, if there's like no God, like we learned empirics, there's no God, would you eat the Martians?
It wouldn't matter what I did. There would be no moral prescription on anything.
I'm asking you, it's a yes or no.
Then the answer is, again, I don't know because I don't have enough information. And that's a valid answer. You can't just say it's a yes or no.
No, there's no God. Like, there's no God. So what would you do?
But what about people of other religions? Like, do they not have... Or do they have different morals? Is that what you would say?
Well, everybody can act morally. Atheists, people from other religions and stuff like that. But the only reason that's consistent is because there actually is a God who instantiates morals objectively.
Well, they believe in a different God.
Yeah, and so just because they don't believe in the God that actually exists doesn't mean that they can't use morals, because the morals do actually exist.
Okay, what if my God says it's okay to get abortions then?
Then you would be worshiping a false God.
Okay, I think your God's false. Prove he's real.
Right. Okay, well, that's what I was doing before, and you were like, you need to have a secular argument. So, there you go.
Okay. Wait, hold on. If you think that you can prove the Christian God specifically, then I would like to hear that if Tiff's okay with it.
Sure. So, it's called the transcendental...
Tiff's okay with it, because she has said she didn't want it.
Okay, yeah, that's up to you guys.
Tiff, are you there? Do you want him to justify God or no?
It's counterintuitive to the Christian faith.
What is?
Well, it is. That is true. But
God.
Why is that counterintuitive? We're commanded to give a reason for the hope that lies in our hearts.
So you don't think faith is important to the Christian belief?
Of course faith is important, but you're also allowed to protect, to defend the faith.
Faith if God's proven.
Well, you can have faith and proof. I mean, there's nothing, you have to have faith to even look into the proof to begin with, so.
the Bible does say to look for the proof, and it says to be curious and
Yeah.
find signs of God and everything, that kind of stuff. So it does kind of say to look for ways to prove it to yourself.
Yeah.
It says no, it says to preach the gospel.
It says both.
Does the Bible also say to add stuff?
No, you shouldn't add nothing.
Lots of people
Show me a verse that says
No, but lots of people do things that are
abortion is wrong.
Yeah, I can show you a verse that says abortion is wrong. It's the command. It's when the lawyer asked Jesus, "What are the two commandments?" Because to sum up the whole law, and Jesus says to love the Lord your God with all your strength and all your heart and all your mind and all your soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And he also defines what a neighbor is by giving the story of the Good Samaritan. So any other person is your neighbor.
So where does it say abortion is wrong?
Because a fetus is a person, and you wouldn't murder yourself. So you have to treat the fetus like you would treat yourself.
That's presupposing.
What's it presupposing?
That the fetus is a person.
But you said that. Why are you pro-life? A human fetus is in fact a human. Biological life starts at conception. It has unique DNA. I mean, what else could it be?
It's begging the question that human DNA makes you a person.
Okay, what makes you a person in your view?
I don't have an account of persons.
So how do you know it's not a person?
I don't care. I think it's an equal person. That's why I can remove it.
A fetus is fundamentally an evil person just for being...
Equal.
Oh, equal. Okay, yeah. I agree.
Equal people from my body.
You can remove equal people from your body?
Yeah.
So in what way is it equal if it doesn't have the same right to life that you have?
If a guy's raping me, I can remove him, can I?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He's equal to myself. He has the exact same rights just like the fetus. That's why I can remove them both.
Yeah, but the fetus isn't graping you, though.
Yeah, it's in my body unconsensually. I don't care.
No,
That's descriptively true. It's descriptively true. It's not graping, but it's still the same principle.
But didn't you choose to put it there? If it's not in the sense of, if it's not in the case of grape.
No. Did you get a grape exception?
I don't give a grape exception, but for a different reason. For a different reason. But if it's a...
That's fine. Wait, we don't even have to pivot off to that. He just excuse me. Sorry, I have children around me. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that, actually, what was I saying? So, the reason...
I apologize. I derailed a little there, but I didn't expect them to run up. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I'm saying, so, if a human being is in a womb, why does it not have the right to life?
Well, what is a right and where does it come from?
Well, again, I believe rights come from God, but if you don't believe they come from God, you'd have to tell me where you think they come from.
Rights, and you have to give other people the necessities to stay alive.
Well, it depends on the situation, but usually, like in most cases, no. But in the case of your own child, yes, you actually do.
Okay, IVF mix-up. It's not my kid.
Yeah.
What's up?
IVF. I got IVF and they implanted the wrong embryo, and it's not my kid. So can I get an abortion? That negates the parental obligation principle.
Well, no, I just don't think you're allowed to terminate any life. So, I mean, yeah, it's irrelevant whether it's your kid or not.
Just take it outside of me without terminating it inside.
Well, because you know that would lead to its termination. But if you could, I would actually advocate that in most cases you should try to save the child and the
I just want to take the embryo out of me. Why can't I?
Wait, you don't believe that you can't terminate any life? That's false. Of course you don't think that.
Not any. I'm sorry, any innocent life. Any innocent life is what I meant.
Yeah, are you a vegan?
We went through it. Any innocent human life.
He said he might eat the Martians, even though they're like, help me! And he said he might eat
any innocent human? Okay, that's fucking ridiculous. Sorry, never mind.
Why is that?
Yeah, I did bring the alien reductio, and I was like, they look like us. Maybe they're just like green or purple or something. And then they're like, please don't eat us. And he said he'd have to ask his church fathers if he can eat them.
Yeah, and it would. And if they said no,
do you think that you'd have to ask your church fathers if I could eat Superman?
Yeah. Is Superman real in this hypothetical, or?
Yeah, he's real and Kryptonian.
Yeah. I mean, I assume I'd know what they would say, but sure, yeah, you'd probably have to ask them.
You'd have to ask them. That's ridiculous.
But I wouldn't default.
Get permission. I'd have to talk to my church leaders to see if it would be okay for me to eat Superman. In the interim, before you get the okay or the not okay, would you eat Superman?
No, I would not.
Do you ask your church fathers for permission when you eat pigs or cows or chickens or fish or turkeys?
Yes, I have.
Lamb?
Yeah.
You ask your church fathers for permission to eat food?
Yeah, not every time I eat, but I've asked them by reading them, and they say you can. So, okay.
What Christian are you?
I'm a catechumen in the Orthodox faith, so I'm becoming an Orthodox Christian.
He also says that there's a verse that says abortion is bad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, to love your neighbor as yourself.
How does that say that abortion is bad?
Because the fetus is a human being, which is your neighbor.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to unalive yourself, is his argument.
Yes, exactly.
And you have to treat it like yourself.
Wait, what if you wanted to unalive yourself then? Could you unalive a fetus?
Yeah, but in my moral paradigm, you're not supposed to unalive yourself either, so.
Why not?
But in the case that you did want to unalive yourself, you could just go unalive anybody, really.
I mean, you can do anything you want. You could kill a.
If I'm being tortured by the T-ban, and they're like, I have an option. I can either take a pill that'll kill me, or they'll continue to like ruthlessly torture me. Is it okay for me to take that pill?
I would say no. You should bear your cross until the bitter end and pray to Christ. So no, I wouldn't take the pill.
It's wrong for me to take the pill to stop myself from being ruthlessly fucking tortured by the T-ban. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, none of the martyrs who are crowned in heaven did that. So yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't want to.
Given an argument for God?
Well, you guys don't want to hear that argument. I've been walking around it the whole time, but you keep telling me to go back to secular stuff. But you don't realize that morality is impossible secularly.
Do you have an argument for that?
Yes, absolutely. You want to hear it? I'm ready.
Yeah, please. What is your meta-ethical view? Just curious.
My meta-ethical view is the Christian paradigm. Now, if you have an internal critique of the Christian paradigm and its ethics, then you can propose that, and you can find a contradiction in that, and I will be wrong.
Do you know what meta-ethics are?
It's what you have to do before you can even talk about ethics.
Not exactly, no.
All right, well,
Meta-ethics is
enlighten me.
talking about.
Please tell us why. Like, could you just tell us like why you can't have morals that without being like religious of some kind?
You can't have morals subjectively. If it's any paradigm which leads to subjectivism, then there's no morality because it's all just preference. And so
That's
if it's
question begging, first of all, and second of all, you still have to give an argument for religion being true, and that absent religion, you can't have those things. You're just saying you can't. That begs the question against subjectivism and all forms of anti-realism.
Okay, so in terms of secular ethics, what is the foundation of morality given the secular worldview?
Do you think that asking questions gives an answer?
Well, how else could I possibly answer the question if I don't even know what your position is?
You don't need to know my position to give an argument for either one, God, two, the fact that morality can't exist without God, or three, the argument that subjectivism bears, that if subjectivism is true, then morality doesn't exist.
Okay.
You have three things on the table.
I mean, I can give.
Is there Cord and May? Do you either of you guys have a mod? I have to go eat, but I think Tip's away.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure mods.
Yeah,
awesome. I'll let you guys watch the kids. I'm good. I'm starving. Thank you guys. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Yeah, you have three things on the table you could give an argument for.
I can.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, so give the argument.
Okay. In order for there to be morality, there must be objective reality, as in something to be universally true. Okay? Morality is itself conceptual. So if there's universal morality, it must exist universally, conceptually. Where do conceptual things exist? Only in a mind. There must be a universal mind, therefore.
Okay, and what's the... repeat the first two premises.
That morality... Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call. Hold on, sorry. Okay, I just declined it.
And what's the inference rule that you're following?
I don't know nothing about an inference rule. I'm not a a pro debater, not a pro whatever. But should I lay out the sort of amateur syllogism again?
Yeah, you can lay out the amateur syllogism.
Okay, so morality is meaningless unless it's objective. Premise 1.
Okay.
Premise 2, morality is a conceptual, let's call it object, morality is conceptual. Premise 2.
Okay.
And I guess the therefore could be, well, okay, then let's do premise 3 is conceptual things only exist in a mind.
Yep.
Okay, and then therefore a universal mind exists.
Okay, so first of all, the three premises you gave don't lead to the conclusion, right? You've said nothing about universalizability regarding moral principles. What you said was
objective and universal. Okay, premise 4. No, objective things must be universal. Okay.
Okay, that doesn't... I mean, where is that even coming from? That premise doesn't seem like it belongs in this argument. Premise
it's just a definition.
Morality is meaningless if it is subjective. Premise 2 is that morality is conceptual. Premise 3 is that conceptual things exist only in minds.
Yeah.
Premise 4 is that objectivity equals universalizability. And then the conclusion is that there is a universal mind.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't follow at all. First of all,
How does that not follow?
Okay, because all of the premises could be true, and it be false that there's an objective mind, or I'm sorry, that there's a universal mind.
How so?
Because it's not an argument for a universal mind. Morality is subject. If morality is subjective, then it is meaningless, right? And then you say that morality is conceptual.
Yep.
Then you say that conceptual things exist in minds. Then you say in order for something to be objective, it must be universalizable. Then you say that a universal mind exists. Nowhere in this argument do you say anything about their moral principles are universalizable. Nowhere do you say that conceptual or these conceptual ideas are universalizable. Nowhere do you say that
well, if they're
objectivism is true. You're not giving an argument for
that's premise
a
one.
universal mind.
That's premise one. Because you're saying if they're not universalizable, if they're not objective, they don't exist. They're meaningless.
No, and well, that doesn't say that they don't exist. There could be things that are meaningless that do certainly exist.
Okay, fine. Then they're meaningless. So if morality has any meaning at all, then all these things lead to the conclusion, is my understanding. I mean, I could be making a bad syllogism. I probably am. I just did it off the top of my head. But
well, it is a bad syllogism because it's invalid, first. And then second, premise one is question begging. You'd have to give an argument for the fact that if morality is subjective, then it is meaningless.
Okay, so I can do that. So if morality is subjective, then all morality comes down to preferences, and there's no way to arbitrate between two persons' preferences.
That's not true.
Okay, how would we do that? How would we go about that?
Yeah, by appealing to their other preferences, right? So here's
That's
an
just
example
more
of May.
preferences.
No, hold on. Look, here's an example. If May and I both have an opposite intuition or preference regarding some moral proposition, we could say abortion is wrong. That's the proposition on the table.
Yep.
I hold it that abortion is wrong, and she holds it that abortion is okay. Okay, and then how do you mediate between those two? Well, the first step is to show May that she has other intuitions or other preferences that align with the proposition that abortion is wrong. How do you do that? Okay, well, you go through kind of common intuition that she probably holds, such as, in general cases, doing harm is wrong. In general cases, humans have certain types of rights. In general cases, killing is wrong. And then you apply those things to abortion, such that the preference and you show her that the preferences she holds, the other preferences she holds, don't cohere to the preference or to the claim that abortion is not wrong.
But so then you agree that the morality is all still preference-based.
That doesn't matter. I'm showing you that you can mediate between two altering preferences or between two people who have differing preferences. And your claim is that it's meaningless because you can't do that thing. I've just demonstrated how you can.
But if she just denied, like if her preferences were like the opposite of yours in all those cases, then it would still be impossible to arbitrate between the two, the actual
she's
position.
She's likely not rational. And I don't have reason to believe she's
Is that your
rational and
argument?
that her moral views matter.
Is that your argument that if someone disagrees with your preferences, they're not rational?
I'm not making an argument. I'm
You were.
refuting yours.
No, you were making an argument that you can arbitrate between two moral claims based on preferences. That was your argument.
No, I wasn't making an argument. I was showing you how what you said is false, not through an argument, but through an example, right?
That.
Yeah, it's true to say that if somebody, here's a moral. Okay, there's one of two things that could be happening. She could be an error theorist, and she just thinks that all moral propositions come out false, or it could be the case that she's a subjectivist, but she's irrational. And then the reasons why I could suggest that she's irrational is because the types of preferences she holds are the types of preferences that you don't have strong reason to hold, like harm being good, or like rights not existing, or, well, not existing, but moral entitlements not being something that we should hold to, or the fact that in general cases, killing isn't wrong, right? And if she holds all of those types of views, then I don't have much reason to argue with her because, again, it seems she's irrational.
But you agree that in all those cases,
views without reason.
But you agree that in all those cases, for all those things you just listed, it's just your preference that those are true, right? Versus her preference that they're not true.
No, it's not a preference that it's true. It's cognitive in the sense where you're saying X is true, right? You're just saying X is true in virtue of a preference that I have for X.
Yeah, which makes it not true. It just makes it your intuition.
Doesn't make it not true. The same way that if I say chocolate ice cream is my favorite ice cream, or I have a preference for chocolate ice cream, what I'm saying is truth apt. It's either true that I have a preference for chocolate ice cream, or it is false that I have a preference for chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
So when somebody says
That's not a moral claim though about ice cream.
it doesn't matter. It's still showing
It
that
does.
preferences are truth apt, or propositions regarding preferences are truth apt. If I say something like abortion is wrong, I'm saying that it's true that abortion is wrong, and abortion is wrong in virtue of a preference I have against abortion.
Right, and if I say abortion is right, then in your paradigm, I'm just saying it's right in virtue to some preference I have about it being right.
That's true, and then
Right.
we go through each
So
other's
it's
preferences,
self-refuting.
and we have a conversation. No, it's not self-refuting. Again, we have a conversation regarding other preferences that you may have that are in conflict with the proposition that abortion is right.
And then if all my preferences don't align with your preferences, you're just going to say that I'm irrational, right?
No, that's not true. It's not if your preferences don't align with mine that I'd say you're irrational. It's if you hold irrational type of beliefs. Like,
And who decides? Wait, and who decides that?
Well, it's whatever you have the most reason to believe.
But isn't it you that decides whether my rational belief is?
No, it's are there strong reasons in favor of you having X belief?
And who makes the value judgment?
In favor of you having beliefs that it's okay.
Who makes the value judgment of whether my reasons are sufficient to support my preferences?
Well, it's not your reasons are well. Okay, it's sure. It would be you and then the person who you're having the conversation with, and then the reasons in favor would be things. The reasons in favor of the justification for your beliefs would depend on the epistemological framework.
Right, exactly. And so, I mean, I think it sounds like you're well versed in philosophy and all this. So, I mean, in epistemology, can you have a subjective epistemology that is valid?
Of course you can. Well, what do you mean by valid? Valid form,
essentially, a subjective epistemology that leads to objective. I should have been more clear. You're right.
Validity is according to,
Fair enough. Sorry, I should have clarified. Can you have a subjective epistemology that leads to objective truth claims?
Michael, humors where you talk about phenomenal conservatism, and it could be true that given all of the intellectual seemings you have and the perceptual states that you have, you could make observations, right, and determine that something is true and it be objectively true that it's true, right? Like the earth being round. It's an objective fact that the earth is round, and you can have that belief become justified given a subjective framework within epistemology.
Wait, but you just snuck that in there, that it's objectively true that the earth is round. But if your epistemology starts with subjectivity, then how are you getting objective truths into there if the way that you know anything is fundamentally subjective?
Well, it depends on your theory of truth. But if you take a theory of truth where X is true if and only if it coheres with reality, then it is the case that you could have subjective means of justification and still come to knowledge that is objective, given your theory of truth.
Wait, sorry, isn't that viciously circular? If X is true by nature, by virtue of the fact that it adheres to reality, you're just saying the same thing twice.
No, you're not. It's called the I think it's called the coherentist position, but I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So no, it's
no. Wait, coherentism.
Wait,
sorry. Coherentism would be X is true because it coheres to the rest of my paradigm of beliefs.
No, I'm talking about theories of truth. I can't remember the name of it, but all that it's saying is that X is true if and only if it coheres to what is or what's in reality. Right. So
and how do you decide? But how do you know about reality, though?
If it's the case that the Earth, if it's the case that Earth is really round,
Mm-hmm.
right, and you come to a conclusion in a subjective manner that the Earth is round through your intellectual seemings, your perception and your perceptual capabilities, and you say, I have knowledge that the Earth is round, presumably you've come to the belief that the Earth is round, given your epistemological framework, and then it just so happens to be true. You have a justified belief, and then it just so happens to be true that the Earth is round.
No, but
so
if
you
you're
can still come to objective truths, even with a subjective
no,
epistemological
you can only come to objective truths in someone else's framework, because you just said from a subjective epistemology. Well, no, hold on. Can I explain? Because if you say that,
I mean, sure, you can attempt to, but I've explained this perfectly clearly.
well, I
You can have
don't understand it
justified
still.
beliefs and come to beliefs. I understand you don't understand it, but that's not my problem. I've explained
Are
it
you
to
interested
three
in?
ways.
Are you interested in me actually understanding it, or are you grandstanding?
No, I am interested in you understanding,
Okay.
right? But at some
So,
point, I
I
can't
have a
explain
question.
it in any other ways for you.
All right, I have a question though that you haven't explained yet. May I ask?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so if you're a
Wait, actually, don't ask until. Does the question, is it a clarifying question for what's currently on the table regarding coming to objective truths
Yes.
through a subjective lens?
yes.
Okay, if it's a clarifying question, then fine.
Okay, so if your epistemology is subjective, then how do you come? So you said
Correspondence theory. Thank you, whiskey. Sorry.
oh, correspondence theory. Okay.
Yes, if it
so
corresponds to reality,
so if the way you know anything and everything is purely through a subjective lens, so your epistemology is subjective, then what is meant by I know this thing subjectively and also it's objectively true? Wouldn't that require someone else's paradigm who believes in objectivity?
This is the part where you're confused.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can have a subjective manner of your beliefs becoming justified and still come to truths that are stance independent, right? So you can have a subjective lens through which beliefs become justified, such as the Earth being round. I could have my beliefs be justified in the Earth being round, given phenomenal conservatism, given my intellectual seemings, given my perceptual states, given testimony, whatever, right? That is how I could justify the belief. Now, because...
But that wouldn't be your paradigm. How would that be your
That is
paradigm?
my paradigm. I'm a phenomenal conservatist. But now, given the fact that it's true that the Earth is round, right, then you say that I have knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can come to objective truth through subjective epistemology. You can come to something being objectively true. You can have a justified true belief, assuming that's what you take for knowledge, right? And you get to the justified true belief part through a subjective way of justifying the belief.
Okay, I'm still a little confused about how that actually works, because if I'm wrong,
I can't explain it to you in any other way. I've
well,
dumbed it down
if you're well, you just said the same exact thing over and over again, so you didn't really dumb it down. I didn't understand.
I mean,
So if you're
do you think that I've said this in numerous ways?
well, let me. Yeah, do you understand what she's saying?
Yes, fully.
Okay, so then maybe you can help me explain. Then maybe you can help me understand. So if your epistemology, the way you know everything, is subjective, then is there any objectivity baked into that? Can you come to anything objective following subjectivity other than by appealing to somebody else's paradigm who has an objective epistemology?
Yes, you can.
Because what she just said is that you can accidentally come to objective truth through subjective, reasoning and your intellect. And
It's not accidentally coming to a truth. So it's phenomenal conservatism. Again, it talks about the justification for beliefs. How do you justify your beliefs?
Mhm.
In what manner are your beliefs justified? And the way that your beliefs are justified under the phenomenal conservatist view are through your seemings. If it seems to you that X and you don't have a defeater for X, then you're justified in the belief that X. Okay, and so the types of seemings that are relevant are your types of introspective experiences, your phenomenal experiences, right?
Okay,
With
and
your sensory.
Mhm.
Hold on, you're not going to understand if you cut me off. With your sensory data, right? Testimony is a method of verification or a method of justification, right?
Mhm.
So those are things that are subjective.
Yeah.
And subjectively, they justify the belief. Then you add the truth condition. Okay, so if you take a correspondence theory of truth and you say that X is true if and only if it corresponds with reality, then it's the case that you come to some form of knowledge, some piece of knowledge, and part of the way that you've come to that piece of knowledge is through a subjective lens. The justification method, where the belief has become justified, the necessary conditions of justified
Okay.
belief are subjective.
Okay, you're right. I was misunderstanding because I thought you were talking about purely subjective epistemology. But if reality is within your epistemology, like objective reality is already baked into the reality, like all your seemings have to add up to something objective, then I understand. I agree. I mean, I think you can come to.
No, it's not that your seemings are objective. It's that
I know.
your seemings are something.
They have to comport to objectivity, though, is what you said. Unless.
Okay, then can you? Well, the seemings don't have to purport to objectivity. Things like
What was that about reality, though? What did you say about reality?
That's about the truth conditions for knowledge.
Which is reality is objective? No, or reality is subjective?
Reality can be objective, right? And it would work that you can come to justified true belief through a subjective justification process, and the belief, or I'm sorry, not and the belief, and the knowledge claim be objectively true. That's
Okay, so the epistemology is an objectivist epistemology then. If there's objectivity in it, I mean, we agree.
If you said anything, I didn't hear you.
Oh, sorry, was I muted? Yeah, so then the epistemology is an objectivist epistemology because you're appealing to an objective reality to confirm the. Okay, I mean, are you not saying words like reality and like you're saying your subjective view? Like you can have all these subjective views, like for instance that the Earth is flat and up is down and stuff.
Because the belief justification process is subjective.
Okay, but it has to. But in order for it to be justified and true, it has to comport to something objective. No.
No, not justified and true. Just true.
So your seemings by themselves can add up to something that's true?
Your seemings can add up to a belief that is justified.
Okay, what about true?
No, truth condition. True is not. No, it doesn't need to be. I'm sorry, hold on a minute. I'm walking into my house.
Okay.
No, your seemings, I mean, they can, right? They can direct you to truth. But it's not the case that in order for a belief to be justified, that belief must be true.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
You can have false beliefs that are still justified.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can see that. For sure.
Right. Okay.
But false implies that there is an objective reality outside of your seemings, right?
But there can be an objective reality, and it still not be the case that your epistemology is objective.
Well, how?
Given the fact that your justification process for your beliefs are subjective.
Okay. But you admit that if your seemings could all lead up to something false, right?
Yes, your intellectual seemings, right, or your introspection can lead you to an unjustified belief, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right? And so if that's the case, then it's true that you don't have knowledge. But it's not to say, that's not to say that they're unreliable, nor is it to say...
I'm not saying that.
Nor is it to say that you would only be justified in beliefs if the belief purports to some objective reality.
Well, that's what you just said about knowledge. You said it has to be true for it to be knowledge. There has to be objectivity for it to be knowledge.
There's a distinction between knowledge and beliefs. Not all beliefs are knowledge.
Oh, I agree completely. Yeah.
Okay, obviously, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case, and the way that you come to justify your beliefs is through a subjective lens, and then the truth condition, right, is something objective, you can still come to objective truths absent any form, absent an entirely objective epistemology.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that, yeah, your epistemology won't be entirely objective. I'm just saying it has to have objectivity within it, is all I'm saying.
Okay,
can we go back? Yeah, because we're kind of getting way off.
What I said.
You said that you can make, with all your seemings, you can have a bunch of subjective beliefs or develop a bunch of subjective beliefs and come to something that is objectively true. Am I wrong?
Yes, you're still wrong.
Okay.
It's not that you can come to beliefs that are objectively true. It's that through a subjective method of justification, you can justify your beliefs, and the third condition for knowledge being truth, right? If the belief is true, then you have knowledge.
Right, but what is, so maybe we're confused here. True implies objectivity.
You are confused.
Does true imply objectivity or no?
If you take a correspondence theory of truth, then yes.
Well, what do you take? I mean, for this argument, what are you taking?
Look, I can just take a correspondence theory, that's fine.
Okay, so then there we go. We agree. Truth implies objectivity.
In a correspondence theory of truth, yes, but that doesn't say anything about your moral beliefs, right? It could be true, right? A proposition could be true in virtue of it purporting some sort of mental state or preference. It could be true that I have the belief that abortion is immoral, right? And so when I purport abortion being immoral, I could be saying it's true that abortion is immoral, and the truth value is dependent on my preferences regarding abortion.
Right.
The argument that we just had regarding epistemology does nothing for the meta-ethics argument.
Okay, so this is probably a good point to get back to the actual abortion topic then. So why is abortion, is it justified for you? Is it amoral? Is it moral? Or what's good or bad about abortion?
Okay, we can just move past everything that we just talked about. That's fine.
Well, I think we agree. I think we largely agree. I mean, that's why.
We certainly don't. We still have multiple disagreements.
What's the disagreement?
We have disagreements regarding meta-ethics. We have disagreements regarding theism. We have disagreements regarding your view on abortion and how you come to your view on abortion.
Yeah.
We have disagreements. We have plenty of disagreements. I'm still not entirely convinced that you understand the free philosophy lesson that I just gave you.
Well, I don't think I do. I'm not very smart, so.
Okay, well, look, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just a little bit frustrating at times when people ask a whole bunch of questions and then it seems as though you answer them numerous times.
Well, to be fair, it's a lot of philosophing, which I appreciate, and I'm very appreciative of you for going through all that learning and for that education and for being willing to try to share it with me. But if I'm being honest, I just don't understand a lot of the words and even the implications of what you're saying. Do you know what I mean?
Look, that's fine. If you want to just talk about my abortion position, we can do that.
Okay. So why is it, even though a fetus is a human and it's alive, why is it okay to terminate that life?
Yeah, because a few reasons. So the first prong, I take a two-prong approach. So the first prong is regarding under what conditions can an obligation be instantiated?
Okay.
Right, so we want to talk about mothers being causally obligated to their fetuses, but
yeah,
the conditions in order for the causal obligation to hold, it seems as though there must be some level of intrinsic value or some level of high value regarding the fetus, and it doesn't seem like the fetus attains any intrinsic value until it's sentient and it has a mental life, right?
Okay, I'd love to stick there.
Okay, and then, do you want to know how abortion is justified?
I'm gonna get confused if I don't ask you about the first prong first.
That's
Can we
fine.
do that? Okay, so you said it doesn't seem like the fetus sort of has this intrinsic value until it gains sentience. So I guess I have two questions, which you can take either one. First, when does it gain sentience? And two, who or how is it decided that something is sentient? And I guess there's a third one, which is why is sentience what ties moral worth to any individual?
Okay, so the first two questions are both pragmatic questions. So if you want to stick to the moral argument, then we can talk about the third question.
Okay,
But
we
if
can
you
do the
wanna
third.
talk about-
We can do the third.
Okay. Can you repeat the third question?
Yeah, so why is it that it's sentience which imbues sort of moral worth onto any individual?
Yeah, okay, so I think that sentience it gives organisms moral worth or moral value because it is the thing that gives rise to different types of perceptual states that I care about, like suffering, pleasure. It's the kind of thing that meets the qualifications for well-being. Under my view, I take a view, like a hedonist view of well-being.
Okay.
So it's the type of thing that makes the fetus or a person a subject of well-being. And then on top of that, it seems like the thing that matters about humans, the thing that grants us rights or grants us certain levels of moral consideration, is the fact that we're psychological beings.
Okay.
So absent psychology, I don't see strong reasons in favor, I don't see strong reasons to value it.
And I'm just still kind of curious why, and I'm sure you've heard this before, so I expect you to have, all right, whatever. But like, for instance, the coma patient or the newborn or something like that, what's the difference between the fetus and, say, the other functionally non-conscious human being that we don't allow to be terminated?
Hold on a sec, sorry, give me a minute. I need to
Yep.
answer a message.
Sure.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Tiff, check Discord. I just answered your message. Can you restate the question?
Yeah, absolutely. So you said, if I remember correctly, and please correct me, that it's essentially it's sentience. Do we want to say consciousness or leave that out?
Consciousness.
Right, because you said psychology. The thing that is valuable about, or the thing that gives a person value is their psychology, essentially, right? Is what you said?
We can talk about consciousness insofar as you understand that it's not a necessary condition.
Okay,
right?
sure, yeah.
Consciousness is certainly sufficient, but maybe it would help that we define terms. So, consciousness, I'm referring to being self-aware or having some level of self-awareness. And by sentience, all I mean is that the thing has a mental life. It's capable of experiencing.
Okay. So are you against abortion in like the late stages when the fetus has sort of that mental life?
Yeah, of course I am.
Okay, cool. I'm just curious. Sweet. And so now I'm just curious why or what, like where you draw that.
Let me start your question. I'm so sorry. My alarm went off. I'm really sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, we agree that. Whatever. I just asked you that you agree that in late stages abortion is not acceptable. Fine, we obviously both agree with that. So now I'm just curious where you get this, idea that value comes from sentience. Like, is that your religious or atheistic paradigm? Is that a decision you've made, or where do you get that from?
No, it's mostly through introspection. So I've introspected about the things that I think are valuable regarding me or about myself. And then from there, I've introspected about the things that seem to give other people value, right? And it seems like in all cases where something is valuable, that thing has a psychology. And I haven't been presented with any cases where there is something that's intrinsically valuable and that thing doesn't have a psychology. So it seems like through what's called a nocium inference, it's justified for me to believe that in order or for all things that are valuable in an intrinsic sense, then they are things with psychologies.
So it's from your own introspection that you come to this view.
It's through introspection and an inductive case.
Okay. And so are you going to say that like the coma patient still has a psychology? That's why we don't terminate them?
Yeah, I think coma patients do have psychologies, and more than that, it's not even just about the fact that they have psychologies. It's also they have interests that exist in the past or had existed in the past. What is... Dude, I don't know what his fucking problem is. Hold on.
Me?
No,
Okay.
not you. I'm sorry.
I was like, what? Yeah.
Sorry. Lily, quick, can you go through the comments and screenshot all of those and send them to me? I just can't do it right now if I'm going to have this conversation. Okay, I'm so sorry. Do you mind, like, restating your question? I hate nodding while I'm also debating.
No, of course, I completely understand that. So, in terms of, you said through your own introspection, and we could get back into the inductive sort of reasoning you use, but essentially it comes down to your introspection about why sentience is tied to value. So what if someone introspects
you had asked me a question about a coma patient. Did you want me to respond to that?
Oh, right, the coma patient. Right, yeah, you said because they have past interests that
okay, so their interests that exist, yeah. So they have interests in things like continued existence, continued relationships, future goals, etc. And those types of things persist into the future, given the fact that they wake up. They'll wake up with those, or they're very likely to wake up with those things.
Okay.
Unless there are extenuating circumstances.
Right. Okay, so makes sense. I think that's consistent within your view, so that makes sense. So what if somebody were to introspect and come to a different conclusion than you? Would they be wrong, or would that just be where they're at?
I mean, they may still be justified in their beliefs, but then my goal is to change their beliefs such that their beliefs change to what my beliefs are.
But why would you do that? Because your beliefs aren't necessarily right either.
Well, because I believe that my beliefs are true.
Okay.
And so if I have a belief that my beliefs are true, then I would want other people to cohere to my beliefs.
Okay. So it all comes down to, again, and I'm not trying to be annoying, but to your own preference about what beliefs are justified, what beliefs are true, and that's why you're debating for.
No, it's not that I have a preference regarding what beliefs are justified. You can come to a justified belief that I completely and entirely, wholeheartedly disagree with.
Right.
Right. Okay, for example.
Which is what you've done.
You've come to a belief that God exists.
Right.
I wholeheartedly, entirely disagree with you that God exists.
Right.
But it's not that you're unjustified in your belief. You could be justified in the belief that God exists.
Right.
Even if I completely disagree with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't really care much about that belief. But the types of beliefs that I care about other people conforming to me with would be types of beliefs like abortion is okay. Or the types of beliefs like women should be able to vote.
Okay.
Or beliefs like if you're homosexual or if you're gay, then you should be able to get married. I care about people cohering to beliefs my beliefs insofar as they impact other people.
Right. Okay, well, let's just stick to the abortion one because there's a lot of stuff there in the other ones. But
no, of course.
So when you say that you could care about those beliefs being true insofar as they affect other people, but you see that the people who are justified in their belief, as you said, in the way you're using justified, when they're pro-life, they also see that as affecting other people, right? Especially if their belief is justified. So why does yours have preference, or why does yours have standing over theirs, or why would you care to enforce your view rather than theirs if you've both come to that view in a justified way and they have the same justifications?
Yeah, well, the same justification is, I'm not sure that they have the same.
Or no, sorry, not the same justification, same implication. Sorry.
What do you mean by that? Because we don't have the same implications, right?
Yeah, the fact that you're affecting other people.
Oh, okay. Okay, that type of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want. Okay, the reason that I would want to change their beliefs is because if I change their beliefs, then their beliefs just trivially now align with my preferences.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I obviously have a preference for people to, vote in favor of abortion access.
Right.
And for those reasons, then I would have strong motivation to change the beliefs of pro-lifers.
Right, and so, I'm not trying to be difficult, but essentially what you've just said or conceded, and I'll let you walk it back, your one is
I haven't
people.
Conceded anything.
Well, you just said that people should be pro-choice because I'm pro-choice.
No, what I said is that I have a desire for people to be pro-choice, and I'm motivated by that desire, given that people being pro-life isn't, or it impacts other people in a way that I think is bad.
But but pro-life also believes that exact same thing. So it's sort of equal.
Pro-lifers have the same goal, right? The pro-lifers' goal is to convince me that abortion is wrong and change my beliefs such that I become pro-life and I stop impacting other people. But then that's why we have these conversations, is to see, okay, am I justified in the belief that the fetus is a person? Am I justified in the belief that abortion is okay? Am I justified in the belief that XYZ factors? So, I mean, yeah, both of us are engaging in a conversation where the goal is to change the mind of the other person.
Right, but
strong motivation.
Well, actually, to be fair, our justification for why say abortion is wrong is based on the fact that a human being has intrinsic value. But your justification for why it's right, or it's fine at least, is because you have introspected and found, oh, well, I believe that life begins at, say, sentience.
No, that's not true. I believe that the fetus is human, and I believe that the fetus is alive. I
But
think
that it doesn't have
the fetus is
intrinsic
alive and
value.
the blastocyst is alive, right? That it just doesn't hold intrinsic value.
Right.
The
But that's just
level
up
of
to your
value-
subjective preference, right?
Well, no, it's not about my preference. It's about the levels that I've gone to introspect and think about the things that are valuable.
Okay, maybe we should do that again then. So why exactly is it not valuable from your process of introspection?
Well, it's because it doesn't have it's not intrinsically valuable because, or under my view, because doesn't have a psychology. It doesn't have any form of a mental life.
And why is that? Why is mental life or psychology what makes something valuable or invaluable?
Yeah, again, I think that having a mental life makes something intrinsically valuable because it's the thing that gives rise to humans and all other organisms that are sentient having experiences, being capable of pain states, pleasure states, suffering. It makes them capable of having preferences, desires, goals, those types of things.
And is it just axiomatic that like suffering and harm is just intrinsically wrong?
It doesn't even have to be the case that it's wrong, right? Like, it's just the case that they're capable of experiencing those things. Right? But yeah, I mean, I do think that it's quite obvious that in the vast majority of cases, suffering and harm serve as wrong-making factors in certain types of moral judgments.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Any questions for me? It makes sense to me.
I mean, no, we could just go backwards to what we did before, but
Yeah.
we're just going to yap about epistemology and metaethics.
Which I'm happy to do, but I did want to bring it back to abortion to some extent. But I'm happy to, if you have a question about that, I can try my best. Or especially if you wanted to do an internal critique of the Christian ethical paradigm, like if you think there's some contradiction there, then that would make sense to do.
Well, it's not necessarily that there's a contradiction. I just think that it relies on something that turns out to be false. Right,
well, that would be a pretty big contradiction if I was appealing to something that is false. If I was appealing to something as objective when it's false, that would not be a consistent belief.
No,
right?
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I think that Christian ethical systems are false because I think that God's false, but that doesn't mean that you're contradicting yourself. It could be true that Christian ethical systems are true even if there isn't a God, insofar as it's the best way for us to act. That's not saying that you have a contradiction in your view. It's just saying that I take it that your view relies on something that doesn't exist. But, I mean, like I said, I'm not in the mood to talk about theism right now. So.
No, that makes sense. And this isn't a theism panel, so I totally respect that. I guess I'll just say that, I'll just end with the fact that I'm pro-life because it's commanded by God to respect my neighbor. And that's pretty much the core of it. I believe a human life is valuable intrinsically by the very nature of it being a human life. And that has nothing to do with its sentience or consciousness or psychology. It's just the nature of being a human.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that, take it that we have a human being,
Mhm.
right? We have a human organism, and we have knowledge that human organism is never going to have any sort of experience.
Yeah.
Right? That human organism will never achieve being sentient.
Yeah.
Do you think that it would be wrong to kill that human organism?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I think that even most pro-lifers would disagree with you there. But
If they're Christian, they shouldn't, but they could. They could hypothetically.
I think that plenty of Christian pro-lifers would disagree with you.
On what basis do you think they would disagree with me about that?
because the thing that makes abortion wrong, well, under most views, one of the things that makes abortion wrong is that you're depriving the fetus of a future of valuable goods.
No,
And
that's not the Christian view.
okay, you just think that it's wrong in virtue of you killing a human.
Yes.
Okay,
An innocent human. An innocent human. It's not like war or like it's done murder or like, you know, it's not capital punishment.
Yeah, but do you think that in all cases it's wrong to kill innocent humans?
I mean, well, unless you're going to go to war, I mean, that's a really interesting kind of different topic. But yeah, I'd say normatively it's wrong to kill innocent humans, yeah.
Okay, so just take a case like this where, I'm like standing in a building, right? And it's just me in the building.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody from like, you could say, the T-Ban, like the Taliban. And the member of the Taliban has hooked up a BOMB vest to a child.
Okay.
And they're holding on to the trigger, and they've told me that if I don't unalive the child, they will hit the button on the BOMB vest.
Yeah.
And it'll cause my demise, the child's demise, and their demise. And we'll just stipulate that I can't unalive the person from the T-Ban. They're behind like bulletproof glass or something.
Okay.
In that case, do you think that it would be wrong for me to unalive the innocent child?
You know, that's one of those kind of like utilitarian questions that are almost impossible. It's kind of an impossible hypothetical.
Question.
Well, it's it's the trolley problem, really, essentially, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's not a trolley problem. It's talking about whether or not the cost to me dying outweighs the considerations outweighs the principle that you set forth.
Oh,
I
don't think you should kill the child to save yourself. No.
Okay, do you think that in a case where a mother's life is at risk, if she doesn't have an abortion, then she shouldn't have the abortion?
Are you talking about like an ectopic pregnancy or something like that?
No. Just take a case. Say that there's a case of pregnancy, right? It's hypothetical.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Say that there's some case of pregnancy
where
she's 16 weeks pregnant, and if she doesn't receive an abortion, then she will die. Okay, do you think that at that 16-week mark, I mean, it's obvious that the fetus isn't going to live after.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it would be okay for her to kill the fetus?
Just clarifying, in the hypothetical, there's no way to save the fetus, right?
No, no, because it's not viable.
Even if the mother chooses to die?
Yeah, because the fetus isn't viable.
Okay, then no, I think the mother should have the abortion, certainly.
Okay, so there's a case, right, that's outside of war where it's okay to kill like an innocent person.
Well, that's why I said normatively. Like, this is an almost impossible situation that you've presented an almost impossible hypothetical. So I just answered the best I could, but
like not only is it nomologically possible, not only is it logically possible, but it's nomologically possible. That's a thing that could happen in the real world given the laws of nature. Like, that doesn't contradict anything, nomologically speaking. So it's certainly nowhere near being impossible. But then, not only is it nowhere near impossible, it's also a normative question. I'm asking you how we ought to act in this given case.
I mean, I think if you're talking normatively, I think we should always try to save both the mother and the fetus. And so it's kind of like a question of like, oh, if two, like, you know, Siamese twins, they need to kill one of them to save the other. Which one do you choose? It's like, the answer is kind of, I don't know. That's what I mean by impossible. It's like you're taking the two equally valuable humans and you're saying which one should...
Are you saying it's impossible to answer, not that the situation is impossible?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's impossible for me to answer. Yeah.
I mean, look, maybe that's because you have a very interesting worldview, where your worldview says something like, it's always wrong to kill innocent humans. But I think that in the vast majority of cases, even your average pro-lifer would say, yeah, of course, it's okay. And it wouldn't be a hard
Well, that's what I said originally, because if the...
weigh in factors of the cost to the agent, and the cost to the agent in the case is death.
Well, a Christian shouldn't be taking any sort of utilitarian ethic to weigh people's lives. We don't know what the weight and value of people's lives are. We're not to judge. That's for God to do. So in any case where you're asking me to judge the value of one life over another, I just simply don't have the information or the power or the authority to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, we're just gonna bottom out and me asking
Yeah.
you for an argument with God. And like I said, I really just don't feel like doing that.
No, of course. Yeah,
I feel like
absolutely.
talking about theism. So
Yeah.
if that's what we're gonna bottom out in, then
That's
we
pretty
can
much
just
where
talk
this
another day when
totally
I'm in the mood to talk about theism.
makes
'Cause right
sense.
now I'm not.
Makes sense. Totally agree. This is where these conversations do always go, unfortunately, but well, fortunately, but yeah, that
No,
is
I
that
don't
is
think
where.
that's true. I think that in the vast majority of cases wherein I talk to a pro-lifer, it doesn't bottom out in me having to get the argument for the existence of God.
Where do they
in
bottom
order
out?
for-
Because how do they defend their morality without appealing to their source of morality?
Well, there are plenty of Christians who don't appeal to God for morality and who have other frameworks.
But then you just win those debates.
I mean,
Because
okay,
if you get to the bottom of it,
sure, it's true that I win most debates. But
yeah,
that's
right.
Not,
So
that doesn't say anything about like I'm winning this debate, and it's still true that we're bottoming out in theism, right? It doesn't.
well, I don't know if you're.
matter.
Why do you say that you're winning this debate per se?
Because you didn't have any strong objections to my worldview. You haven't led me down any ridiculous hypotheticals. You haven't given a reductio to my view. And your view is unsubstantiated.
Okay, well, we'll just let the chat decide. I was just curious why you thought you did. So yeah, I mean, yeah, this is pretty much where we bottom out. But I mean, I think to be fair, just to represent myself, what I said earlier before, if your morality just comes down to your introspection and ultimately your own preference for things, then it can't possibly have priority over someone else's introspection or their priority, because that's the source of your morality, is your own opinion. So if my own opinion is the opposite of yours, we're at least equal, just to represent my position fairly about where I've shown that your morality is insufficient to explain why abortion is right.
You didn't show shit.
All right, that's fair. That's up for the panel and the chat to decide.
Everybody's saying that you lost. For real.
I mean, I'm seeing people say that I didn't, but fair enough.
Chris got posed the PMP argument on any basis.
What's that?
Did Riss get posed the PMP?
No, I don't really do that. I mean, I don't really ask that reductio. I just don't think that it does much, but you can ask.
Yeah, go for it. Well, I don't know what that is. PMP?
It's just a partial molar pregnancy. I mean, the only reason I was asking was because he was kind of doing the innocent baby thing. And just, by virtue of something being human and alive, it seems like it wouldn't be okay to unalive it in your view, right?
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you say that again? If
just like an entity, as long as it's human and alive, it seems like it's, wrong to unalive it, right? Or innocent, human, and alive.
Yeah, made in the image of God, but yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, there's this condition. Well, there's this thing. It's called the partial molar pregnancy. Basically, it's when two sperm go into an egg, and it creates basically a mass of flesh and fat. It's human and it's alive, and it's got human DNA.
Gotcha.
But it'll never be viable, right? It'll never be like a human being. It'll just be this mass of flesh and fat.
Yeah.
If the woman could just keep it alive in a test tube for the rest of her life by drip feeding it nutrients, would you say she's obligated to?
Can she do that? Is that a possibility?
Well, I don't know. It's just more so like a question.
A thought
to
experiment.
See whether it's a question to see whether it's true that you think that anything that's human and alive and innocent, somebody should be obligated to it in such a way where they're providing it.
Yeah, I mean, I would generally, we live in a fallen world, and so I would generally lean towards if nature or the devil or whatever decided that this child would never be viable, never grow into a human being. I don't think you should do some strange, Frankenstein experiment to keep it alive in a test tube. I mean, that's not really a human, if it's not going to grow into a person. But normatively is what I'm talking about. Most fetuses grow into a person.
What makes someone really a person then?
No, I mean, you're right. A person is someone who's created in the image of God. And so, but the thing is, Christ and God, his image, he grows up into a human being. So that might be part of it. I have to think about that. It's an interesting thought experiment. Are you obligated to drip it IV in a test tube to keep a lump of flesh, essentially?
Yeah, I think the reason why
or
maybe it feels a bit like unintuitive to you to say, yeah, the mother's obligated to drip feed this like massive flesh and fat that's human and alive, and technically innocent under your view.
yeah,
Is
definitely
because
innocent.
it doesn't have like a mental life, like it doesn't have this like experience that you would associate with what like being a human being is like. That's what it seems
No,
like.
that it wouldn't be the mental
Feeling
life.
is unintuitive about it.
It wouldn't be the mental life for me. It'd be the fact that it never actually grows into adolescent or an adult or anything. It has no potential to become what the fullest manifestation of a human is, the life of the Lord Jesus Christ on earth. And so he grew into an adult. And so that's what the like perfect representation of a human would be. If you're talking about some lump of flesh that will never, ever, ever be able to do that, I think it's
Okay, but
probably.
would you say that like a being that's human and alive and innocent, if it never grows to have a mental life, would you say that that's like, a being that's made in the image of God?
If it never grows to have a mental life?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could be sure of that for sure, I guess that would be that would be death already taking place, yeah.
But do you see kind of how you're kind of doing the same thing that we're doing, right? You're saying, well, this being isn't like actually what we would associate with what being a human being is, until it, it's either able or has this mental life, right? You're kind of just placing
potential.
the value.
No, potential for them.
Yeah.
But
you're saying the potential is what matters to you.
No, but the
right?
abortions that you're in favor of, all like at least 99.9 whatever % of them have the potential to be an adult, an adolescent,
to have this mental life, right?
To have that mental life that you're talking about. So,
but
it's not the mental life itself; it's the potential for the mental life that I'm talking about, and it all comes down to being in the image of God.
But do you see how you kind of care about the mental life in the same way that we do? You just care about it because it may attain it in the future, but we care about it because that's just how we like cash out what we associate with what being like a person is.
Okay, and why do you associate that? Why is that what makes a person the mental life from your view?
Well, think about for the same reasons that you just gave me, right? You just say, well, because it's going to be a person in the future, right? That's why it matters to you. And I say, well,
okay.
If it doesn't currently have it, then it's not currently a person. You see what I mean?
Well, I didn't say it's going to be a person in the future. I think it is a person this whole time.
Okay, so why? Okay, but then when I pose you the partial molar pregnancy there, you're saying that if this thing is never going to have a mental life, well, then it's not made in the image of God. And it seems like in that case, the thing that separates that thing from being the...
I didn't say it's not made in the image of God. I didn't say it's not made in the image of God. That partial molar pregnancy. I'm just saying it seems like nature already made the decision. It seems like the fallen world has already grabbed this person made in the image of God. So it would be unnatural to continue to try to, like, I don't know, do whatever weird experiment that you're talking about. I don't know.
Okay, so would you say, I'll ask one more question, then I'll let somebody else talk, but would you say that, like, at some point, like, it'd be wrong to continue, making medicine better?
What? No. What?
Well, because eventually, right, there'll be a point where, people are like, nature is just like taking them, right? Like people are unaliving, they're deteriorating, they're decaying.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a point where if the technology and medicine just continues improving, there's going to be a point where, we're going to be able to, do things to people that you might deem as unnatural, but will extend people's lifespan by like, let's say 100 years or something, or just, we can just perpetually keep people going. Like, eventually, right?
Okay, maybe. I don't know if I would grant that per se, but in a hypothetical, okay.
Yeah, would you say that it would be like at some point we have to stop like improving medicine?
I don't even know if you'd have to say that is an improvement of medicine to keep people alive for longer. For hundreds of years longer. Like, what would you have to do to them, for instance?
I don't know. Like, let's say we're able to like synthesize some sort of like
drug, pill.
Yeah, some sort of pill that like is like nutritionally perfect.
Yeah,
allows us to like just like keep our bodies healthy and intact.
No, I mean
if food.
If we discovered that, I would think that's sort of that would be God sort of allowing us to live longer at this point. I mean, sure, yeah, I don't see why it would stop that.
Okay, but then it seems like in the case with the partial molar pregnancy, if there was a test tube that allowed the partial molar pregnancy to stay alive, by drip feeding it nutrients, that would also be the kind of gift from God that you would say the pill is, right?
Sure, maybe it is. Yeah, I might have to change my view of what I said originally. Yeah, something to think about. Never heard of that hypothetical, but it's interesting. I'd be willing to, I think if the mother felt that it was still a human and that it was, that it was worth taking care of and all that stuff, maybe she is obligated. Maybe. That's actually a question I'd have to ask a priest or something. I don't think I could actually answer that.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I wanted to ask the question there.
Okay.
I agree with Court that for the most part, the partial molar pregnancy doesn't do much to people's positions, because normally somebody who takes a future like ours view, they would just say that the partial molar pregnancy doesn't have a future like ours, therefore it's not, morally valuable or something.
Right. So that's why I'm having
like
trouble with the hypothetical itself, because that's not what I ascribe worth to, is having a future or whatever. It's just a personhood.
Yeah, but that's why the partial molar pregnancy could work on you.
Yes. So she might be obligated to take care of that baby. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I think most people would find that kind of an unintuitive entailment of your position, I would say.
Why is it unintuitive? Or why is it wrong given my position?
Yeah, because you're basically saying that, people should be obligated to sustain masses of flesh and fat and test tubes for the rest of their lives. You don't think that seems a bit absurd?
Well, for one thing, I'm just assuming that this is actually not a real situation. It's a hypothetical. So the hypothetical itself is pretty absurd. You see what I'm saying?
That's fine, but...
So it's my answer is only as absurd as the hypothetical itself is. Does that make sense?
God is pretty absurd too.
Okay.
But wait,
Fair enough.
man, look, you can ask me extremely, part of what makes your a position good, or I guess I wouldn't even say good or bad. I would just say part of what makes a position strong is if it doesn't unalive on some of these absurdities, right? If you're just gonna say, yeah, the woman is obligated to sustain the pregnancy in a test tube, this massive flesh and fat for the rest of her life, that kind of comes down to an absurdity in your view that maybe somebody else wouldn't have the same kind of absurdity.
What's absurd? Sorry, what's absurd about it? The fact that if it's a person, you should take care of it.
Yeah, the reductio is the thing that illustrates that. The fact that you unalived on that hill is what's illustrating that that's absurd.
What hill am I unaliving?
It doesn't align with most people. It doesn't align with most people's intuitions to say
so the
that
fact
people should be
that
obligated
my
to
answer
sustain
doesn't
masses of
align
flesh
with
and fat.
what you see as most people's intuitions is what proves my position wrong?
I'm not saying it's proving your position wrong. I'm just saying that
it weakens my position.
An absurd entailment of your view.
All right. Well, people can decide that based on their.
Most people's...
Yeah, people can decide that for themselves. That's fair.
Wait, you genuinely don't think it's absurd to say that a person, if given that situation, would have to drip feed this massive flesh and fat in a test tube for the rest of their lives?
I'm saying that is absurd because the whole hypothetical is absurd. So it's only as absurd as the question.
It is absurd.
Only because the question itself is absurd. Okay, so you're asking me a question that's meant to put my position into a corner. And okay, fine. So you put the position in a corner, but it's not a real hypothetical. It's not a possible situation.
Okay. But just to be clear, clear, you are saying that that it is absurd to say that.
It's if the question is absurd, then my answer is absurd. If the question is not absurd, then my answer is not absurd.
You agree that your answer is absurd?
Only insofar as the question is.
Okay, so now ask me the question.
Okay, if PMP, do you have to take care of the little baby in the test tube, even though it'll never grow up to be a human?
No.
Okay, and you don't see how that's absurd?
Do you think that's absurd? Do you think that's absurd?
I think it's absurd if you concede that it's a person, it's a living human being, then yeah, your answer is absurd.
Well, I don't concede it's a person because I don't think just being human
makes
you being a human.
Right, so what's the point of this? I don't understand.
Wait, Like, wait, you don't get what I did there?
Not really, no. Personally.
Okay, so you said that the answer that you gave was absurd, right? But only because the question was absurd,
Right.
And then you asked me the same question.
Yeah.
And I told you that no, the person isn't obligated.
Okay, so
you asked me why,
Yeah.
And I told you, well, because I don't view the partial molar pregnancy as the kind of thing
Right.
that somebody should be obligated to.
And then
I gave you reasons, right?
Then I asserted.
The reasons would be,
yeah.
The reasons would be because it doesn't have a mental life.
Yeah.
Not only that, right, but it's not the kind of being or the kind of entity that I would ascribe that value to in virtue of the fact that it's not a person.
Right.
And for those reasons, I don't think somebody should be obligated to drip feed
Right.
vitamins to a test tube meat and sack.
Right. Then I'm going to do the
flesh
exact same thing that you did and assert that position is absurd.
Okay, why? What's absurd about it?
Because if it's a living human being, well, but you don't see it as a living human being, right?
No, I see it as a living human being. I don't see it as a person.
Oh, right. So there's a distinction between a person and a living human being. That's where I was getting confused. Okay, so yeah, fair enough. Okay, so in that hypothetical, your position is maybe less absurd than my position in that hypothetical. But I don't see what that does in the real world. What does that do in the real
It doesn't make your
world?
position invalid, right? I'm not
Right.
saying that it makes your position invalid.
That's just a
I'm
subjective
saying that-
opinion about something I said to your hypothetical.
Sure, but do you think that do you think if you polled like 1,000 people on whether they think they should be obligated there? I mean, I'm not saying.
So appeal
anything
to the
about
masses then.
Well, it's not an appeal to the masses. I'm just asking. Do you think most people would say that that they should be obligated? I mean, what do you feel like intuitively?
Intuitively,
people would say?
probably most people. Well, are you asking Orthodox Christians, or are you asking like just a general subsection of society, or what are you doing? Who are you asking?
I mean, this is an unnecessary question I'm asking you, but I'm just curious, right? Like, do you think that if you asked 1,000 random people on the street if they'd be obligated to a massive flesh and fat, that they need to drip feed in a test tube for the rest of their lives, do you think most people would say that no, they're not obligated to that, or do you think they'd say yeah?
Most people would say no, they're not obligated, and that proves nothing because it's appeal to the masses.
No, I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it does. I'm just saying
Gotcha.
it seems like it just aligns with most people's intuitions to say that they're not obligated to that thing.
Gotcha, and I'm saying that that's a fallacy, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, all right. Anyways.
Okay. Cool. Well, I've enjoyed you guys. You've been very much more respectful than some of the other panels I've been on, so I appreciate that, and for letting me talk and not muting me so much. And this has been fun. I hope you guys had some level of fun too, getting into the weeds.
Yeah, you were incredibly good faith. Look, I mean, I still think I won, but
That's
you were
fair.
very good
Of
faith.
course. Yeah,
That's
of
all.
course.
It was a fun conversation, so
Okay.
thanks for coming in.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you. Hopefully see you soon. Bye-bye.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Yeah, just got moved.
Well, I think, who do you guys think? That's what's important. My audience. Well, who do you guys think won that conversation? I think we got them to admit that their morality is subjective, which is self-refuting. I think we got them to say a bunch of crazy hypotheticals that have no bearing on, like, the real world or reality. And I even got some support in the TikTok chat, which I usually don't get. I usually don't even get the TikTok support. So, Christian Toker said I was based. I mean, come on. Doesn't get much better than that. Vrindavan, welcome, brother. I know it seems like the stream isn't working on Twitch, for you at least. Oh, yeah, there is an error. Hold on, let's see. Maybe it'll work now. You know what? And I'm getting a call, and it's an important call, and we've been streaming for 2 hours, so we're going to call it here. I will be back on Wednesday. Thank you, everyone, for staying.